Hello model railroaders, it's Dave, welcome back to the layout. Well, a few minor plan changes regarding the layout that I'm going to bring you this video. As you can see in front of you, the four identical bridges, two of them have been replaced with the, I don't know, under truss bridge. I'm not exactly sure what the naming of that bridge would be. As you can see, there's the foam cutout debris, and along with a mining truck to ensure that the clearance is being achieved through that right-of-way. Now, one of my decisions in swapping that bridge in from the other two bridges is, as you can see by the height of the boxcar, the top of the bridge is fairly close. Now I know it's only probably less than 1/4 of an inch of clearance that is the problem, which is getting a double stacked container car through that size of bridge. So as the outer line is the main line, I've gone ahead and replaced it with that, which is good enough to run at the moment. However, later on I'll come back and paint the abutments and do a better, more complete job of that when I get ready to do any scenic in this area. So that leaves the one bridge abutment with the underslung truss bridge. We'll go with that. This side of the layout, let's see, top level, dealing with bridges. As you can see, though not directly regarding the bridge yet, I'm seriously considering adding in another parallel track starting at this area, just as it would clear the tunnel entrance, and running that siding down, and then having the two double line truss bridges, one which I still have to build, in this area here, and then that line rejoining the main line right about where that turnout box is. So that would give me about 12 feet of siding, whether it be a passing siding or a storage siding, because again, I'm running long trains. So part of me is thinking like that Santa Fe train there, that would fit just nicely on that siding once it's created up here. And that gives me the bridge that I bought, still have to assemble, plus this one would fill that gap. Now, once I've sorted out bridges and everything else, I'll come back and contour down this 1x4. Again, there's no real weight holding it, so I can go ahead and chop a good chunk of it out. It is plywooded on the bottom, and I'll probably leave about 1 inch on the interior just to, when I bring it down and come back up. So that's the thought on this side of the layout. Now, rotating around, the other side of the layout, I've managed to get some trackage down. Now, based on supplies, I put the, I'll call it the secondary main line, which is what this trackage is here. And just to give you a refresher of the layout, it curves off at that turnout right there from the main line, and then the intent was there will be a siding coming off into this section where I will put a major industry, and it will continue on, and from the passenger terminal video previously performed, that will feed up that way. Now I went ahead and I put a crossover and a right-hand turnout here, and the thought was for me to drive that particular line coming from the crossover down more towards the back of the layout, and then whatever other turnouts I needed to do, I could run them either left or do whatever to facilitate, because I haven't sorted out, apart from the logging yard, what is actually going in this space. So as mentioned in the previous video, my thought was to do a foam ramp up to the 1/2 inch foam thickness, and then essentially cover everything between the two parallel tracks in the foam, and then I'll move this out of the way, sorry, and then come back in and pick up at that turnout back onto the secondary main line, and then that main line will loop around. I'm going to put a curved turnout in, and that will give me a line, spur line, that will perform any industry in this area coming up to this side of where the water effect will be. So whatever trains coming into here will then come back around and either come up the main line here or continue on into where the logging run staging yard, I guess, will be. And I'm very certain that down this area here will be the refinery area and all the storage tanks and such there. So a couple of yards there and pretty much right in this area, and then I've got another 5 feet that way that will house some kind of industry, and then depending on space we'll work out some more industry coming off here, but on top of the foam foam base. And then that way I can rotor out where the buildings will be and be able to do some mini building dioramas and just drop them in for whatever sidings I create. And that will be my swap out. And I don't know in this area if I'll come up and do a riser onto a 1/2 inch foam level or not, or do it all flat. I haven't really decided and come up with any plans, but I do know that area will be serviced by that curved turnout there. So main line will come down. I still have to draw in the curves and work that. I'm going to use that bridge to gap, so the banks will be a little closer as compared to the other side, and that will allow me to do some kind of a camping something in this area here. Main line will pick up from here and follow the outside edge around and down and pick up that curved turnout there. Now I'll probably throw in another turnout somewhere over here that will be able to feed whatever I may decide to do in this stretch. So that's the plan. Now, none of the turnouts on the upper level are going to be tortoise actuated. They'll all be hand actuated. It is just way more effort than it's worth, and based on the industry that I want to do at the top, it's easily reachable, the turnouts that they are, to throw them manually, whether I use Caboose Industry throws or just the normal turnout throws. I'm planning on predominantly Pico turnouts, but I may end up using some Atlas. Sometimes the Atlas turnouts I'm not really happy with, and I hate getting the grinder in there to modify the points where they are very close. I'm just looking to see. I think I put most of the bad ones away. These ones look pretty good. Where the Atlas turnouts, the gap here at the points, sometimes you just need to get in there and grind them because the point is so thick. This one's not bad. I prefer a little more space like the Pico turnouts. They always give a good gap and a nice solid actuation on the throws. So that's one thing that I've brought with me from my previous layout, where I predominantly used all Atlas turnouts. Even if I have to use used Pico turnouts and get them at a half decent price as being used, they're pretty solid and definitely reusable. So that's the plan as it stands. I'm hoping by end of day to at least have another 6 feet of the trackage laid, and then plug away at it next week, and hopefully have this section done within another week, and just a temporary trackage where the bridge will go for the moment. And at that point I'll have to see where finances are, because whatever Atlas track that I've managed to pick up, I've got 15 pieces here, will get used up very quickly. Predominantly most of the Pico track that I've got in code 80 will be used for this secondary main line. So any of the yard work will end up being well, Atlas or Pico, whichever I can get, and I prefer where I can to get it at $4 a piece. The cheapest I can get it right now from a hobby shop is $5.05 for multiple pieces of Atlas flex track, and I believe I'd have to buy a box of 25 to get it at I think it was $5.15 for the Pico, and I'm just not ready to dump $130 plus tax for a 25 pack of Pico track, which is the better deal per foot. So at the moment that's where I'm at. So goal is to get the inner main line done and get things all vacuumed up. And from that point, get some trains running, because I'm having a little withdrawal of running my trains, and I don't want to run them and pull gunk up into the wheels or into the gears, whether it be loco or car. So from that point, that's my immediate plans. So I hope you enjoyed the update and enjoy seeing some progress being made. And oh yes, before I get too far, I've got to run a secondary upper bus line, and then I need to break down and change my 150 command station to a booster and get my one Digitrax, I want to say DB 100. I can't remember the station model numbers, but get that as my main station, and then reprogram all the soft consists that I've done. So lots of work ahead on the layout, and hopefully you'll have an opportunity to work on your layout in what remains of the weekend and the coming week, or at least at a minimum get down and run your trains. So till the next video, it's Dave. Bye for now.